Hello my friends, welcome back to another episode of Dre in the Kitchen. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I did take quite a bit of a break. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been sending me messages asking, how things are going. I figured let me start by just quickly saying hello again. For those of you who've never seen me before, my name is Chef Dre. I've been doing YouTube since probably the pandemic started in late 2020 to early 2021 is when we launched Dre in the Kitchen. I've been gone for about a good 6 months, maybe 7. A lot has happened during that time, so just to catch you up, I lost both of my little babies, my Halle Berry and my little Sasha Fierce. Those were my dogs, my life. Brooklyn is doing A-okay. As you can see, this is the new kitchen. We moved out of the apartment we were in and moved into another one. So it's a lot smaller. We moved into about 925 square feet. So we're adapting. As you can see, I'm sure my sister will have issues. She wants nothing on the counters, but because of our limited space, we have to make do. Don't you worry, I'm gonna do a tour. There'll be another video showing you behind here. You can't see them, but I do have my kitchen shelves and they're full. My other sister's gonna come over and help me next week. On the weekend, we're gonna redo my pantry and get things going. So, again, thanks for following me. Thank you for watching me, and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing we're gonna do today is one of my favorite, and I've been on this weird kick lately where I just want things that I can dunk bread into. So much so I bought a 16 grain bread at Publix, because I was like, I don't feel like making homemade bread. So what are we gonna do today? I love mushrooms, and one of my favorite Korean markets in Tampa area on Bruce B. Downs, and for those of you in South Florida, there's Kimchi Mart, I believe. So you're able to get some of the most beautiful mushrooms. Look at these king oyster mushrooms, and then I have these beautiful oysters here. They're very woodsy. I've sort of been on this mushroom kick lately. But to this, we're going to add pancetta, we're going to put some Calabrian chilies in it, maybe a little heavy cream, shallots, garlic, and possibly garbanzo beans. Usually I use cannellini, but I ran out, so I've got to go back to Trader Joe's. That's where I can buy my organic cannellini beans, and I get the garbanzos there as well. So, welcome back, and let's get started. So let's get the mise en place ready, which means everything in its place. So I love to use, I've had this copper pot for a very long time, so it's a very heavy copper pot. And then I'm going to start to I think I'm going to trim the mushrooms a little bit with knife, and sometimes I just want to shred the oysters because they have this beautiful meaty flavor. So let's do that. And then I bought the pre-cut natural pancetta. Trader Joe's has it, it's fantastic. We're going to cut a shallot, small to medium shallot, and probably just a few cloves of garlic because I love garlic and mushrooms. And then to this we'll add some dry Italian seasonings, but if you have fresh thyme is actually one of the best things to go with mushrooms. And I think it's just going to come out delicious. So, and then we might add some baby spinach. This is not a recipe that I follow in a cookbook. This is actually just something I like to do on my own. I love mushrooms. They are absolutely delicious. So this was a little wet. Thankfully we have paper towels. A little condensation never hurt. Again, I am in the state of Florida. So to this, if you see these oysters, look at how beautiful these clusters are. That's what I want you to see. And because they're not dirty underneath, you literally just pull them apart. I kept this little tray just so I can put the mushrooms in there. I don't want to cut them up too much because it's just delicious. Trust me. If they're much larger, like let's say this oyster, as you can see, it's got a long stem, then I might just take a knife, put a little slit through it, pull it apart, and it has the consistency of steak. I kid you not. And I think that's one of the beautiful things I love about these mushrooms. There are those days where I'm not in the mood to cook either a steak or chicken, and what I do is I literally make mushrooms. And I'll always add garbanzos, or I'll always add cannellini. Add the beans of your choice. You know, this is just how I do it to my personal liking, but I think it comes out pretty darn good. So we'll check the... So let me just do all of this. Let's get this ready. You can follow along. And then we're gonna make all the goodness together, y'all. So yummy. And now we're gonna add these beautiful, 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 beautiful. They're like the little trumpets. I love them. These are absolutely amazing as well, but I'm gonna do the same thing. These are heartier. So I'm gonna quarter them like this. Just little pieces. And these are your simple white button mushrooms. I got them at Trader Joe's. They were pre-sliced, but they're very large, so I'm just gonna chop a few down to size. Okay. One more. All right, let's move this out of the way. Chop up our little shallot. Keep my trusty little glass bowls here. Nothing special. We're just gonna take the shallot. It's funny because in my head, I'm hearing Nigella Lawson say shallots. The things that go through my mind as I'm just cutting a shallot. To this, my trusty little garbage bowl here on the side. And I'm just going to slice them. I'm going to slice them very, very thinly. Okay. We're going to get everything ready. You slice it the way you like. If you have a device that helps you, go for it. These shallots are very strong. My eyes are already getting watery. Put these to the side. When you put all of these ingredients together, it's one of my favorite things. And again, the technique and method that I'm doing this, you can do this. You can substitute mushrooms if you don't like mushrooms. You can do this with tomatoes. You can do this with a variety of different things. Don't think that you have to just do it one way or another. It is entirely left up to you and your imagination. I did buy the garlic that's already separated, but that's okay because when you have these left over, if you're Puerto Rican like me, eventually sofrito would go into this and into the freezer. And what I usually do is I always have roasted garlic. So I'll make roasted garlic before this ever goes bad. Put it in a Ziploc, separate it so you have it ready for future use. Amazing in soups and stews and all the things. So let's chop the garlic and then I think we're gonna be ready to start. Watch your fingers, go slow. It took a very long time for me to get used to chopping garlic fast. If you have to just take your little bit of time, take your time. Don't cut yourself. And always remember, please, your most dangerous tool in the kitchen is a dull knife. Which reminds me, I have to go get all of my knife sharpened. Can I do it myself? Absolutely. Do I want to do it myself with 20 knives? No. Alright, garlic to the side. And we're going to get started on our cooking. Oh, this is going to be so good. Alright. Garlic, shallots, mushrooms are ready. I've got the pancetta. I'm going to wash my hands and then we're going to get started. To a cold pan. Before we ever heat it up, we're going to put in our pancetta. So this was already cut up. Pancetta has some fat, but it does have a lot of lean meat. So you want to always start, at least I started off on a cold pan. Turn your heat up. I'm going to add just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just to help it along, to get it started. And let's render that before we start adding any of the ingredients. I removed it, put it to the side, and now with this still being very, very hot, I'm not draining any of the oil. We're going to add the mushrooms. There we go. Now mushrooms have water within them, so we're going to just cook these. No salt, no pepper, nothing yet. We're going to let these. They're coating in that beautiful pork fat. Now you can make this, like I said, without pork. Just omit the pork part and you can use unsalted butter to brown your mushrooms. Which I'm going to add in probably a tablespoon of unsalted butter right now. Just to help the process along. And my best favorite part is the aroma. If you love mushrooms, I promise you, you're going to enjoy this recipe. And no worries, I'll show my face again at the end. Just leave it alone so they don't steam. Let it do its magic. To this, we're going to add in our shallots. Don't be afraid, just put them in. Continue to saute. You don't need to add any oil, nothing is needed, just let it cook in all the little bit of fat that's in there. We will season with salt and pepper at the end. Add your garlic. For me, it's about 8 or 9 cloves. I love garlic in here. To this, we're going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Like I said, if you have fresh thyme, use some fresh thyme. It'll be absolutely amazing in this. And now we're going to deglaze, pretty much just to get all those beautiful brown bits. I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. And then using your spoon, as you stir things around, make sure that you scrape all of those bits on the bottom. This is just going to intensify the flavor that you have in this pot. See, it's starting to get clean on the bottom. And that's exactly what I want. Just gorgeous. Now we're going to season a bit with salt. Oh yeah, about a good, start with a 1/2 teaspoon to about a teaspoon of salt. This is Diamond Kosher, not as salty as if you used the other kosher salt, which I believe is Morton's. Now for me, you have to have pepper. Mushrooms and pepper go hand in hand. This is my own mix. I do a peppercorn melange, but then I add some extra white pepper and pink peppercorns. If you wanted to add marsala, you could add marsala. You can add a dry white wine. At this point, this is where you can experiment with everything you want. I'm purposefully drying it out, even though we're going to add more liquid. I just want everything to evaporate. So to this, I'm going to add, I have 1 can of garbanzo beans rinsed, thoroughly rinsed. Stir it all together. I mean, this could even turn into a curry if you wanted. This is what I was craving today. Add a little chicken stock. It's probably about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to let this come to a boil for a few minutes. Let all the flavors marry. I'm going to put a lid on this and let it cook for about a good 20 minutes. It looks like it needs just a little more stock. You want just enough so that everything and all the flavors will cook and marry once I put the lid on. So let this come to a boil and then we'll reduce down to a simmer. Once it comes to a boil and simmers, put your lid, let it go for a good 20 minutes, and I'll see you in 20 minutes. And then we'll adjust, add our heavy cream, and all the other goodies. So as you can see here, this has been cooking for a good 20 minutes. And I did decide to add a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, there we go, cream sherry. Probably about just 2 tablespoons worth. I felt it needed a little bit of acidity. I added a dot extra salt for seasoning. And now we're ready for the next phase. So keep remembering, this is just a guide. You can do this just with the mushrooms alone. You can do this, sometimes I add tomatoes in here. It really depends on what I'm craving that specific day. So now, we're going to get 2 things added. We're going to use I have organic heavy cream here, of course. I bought it at Trader Joe's. And we're going to put about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. You can use A nut milk you can use if you're lactose intolerant. You don't have to use, you can use, sometimes if I had it, I'd put a little mascarpone cream in here. For that beautiful, let that come to a boil. And now, we're gonna add in some Calabrian chilies. I like it a touch on the spicy side. You can adjust and add whatever you can tolerate. Mix that up a little bit. Let this come to a boil. I'll let it reduce slightly, not too much. Then we'll add some parsley, and guess what? We're ready for dunking this into some bread. You can make this with some pasta. This could be a side dish. This could be just about anything that you like. In fact, I have these little guys. I love these little sprinkles. These are teeny tiny tomatoes. They're called sprinklers or sprinkles. Also available at Trader Joe's. No, this is not sponsored, but I absolutely adore Trader Joe's. And you know what? I need a little bit of color in there, so we're gonna add those in. With the heat, they'll burst in your mouth and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. So let this reduce a little bit, and then I'll serve it on the side, and I'll show you how it is with beautiful toasty bread. Is your mouth watering? Because mine is. Somebody needs to hurry up and make smell-o-vision so that everybody can partake in these cooking festivities. All right, let this do its magic, and we'll come back together in just a few moments and put it all together. Heat off, and we are officially done. Now I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit before I serve it, and we'll taste test together. One last thing I want to add in is some baby spinach. Do you have to add it? Absolutely not. Do I want to add it? Yes. And why do I want to add it? 1, for flavor, and 2, for color. If this is going to be what I'm going to eat with a little bit of bread, well, y'all, let's make it as delicious as we can have it. Your heat is off. Just stir it in, and it'll wilt down into nothingness in a couple of seconds. Just look at that. Oh my goodness, yes. Voila. All right, friends, everything is done. It is absolutely delicious. So I have here, of course, I toasted my bread. I have the pancetta bits that we use the oil to fry and saute the mushrooms in. I have here a glass of ventriloquist, red blend 2020. I figured it's kind of nice. It's 83% Grenache, I believe, or something close to that. And look, just look. Look at this. I wish you could smell it. So let's taste, because that's what we're here to do, right? You want to know if it tastes good. I think that's always, you might see people cooking, but does the food really taste good? My official taste tester is working, so Ivan will be home later. So I'm going to put just a little bit here, and it's beautifully toasted. I'm trying to Put a little bit of mushrooms, some garbanzos. I have some beautiful, come here you little sucker. Put that there. Take a little bit, look at this, luscious, luscious sauce. There we go. Leave that in there. I'm gonna take a little bit of pancetta. It is literally the perfect little bite. So let's see. Mmm. 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 I could have made it a little spicier for my liking. Remember, you add Calabrian chilies to whatever your heat level is. That is amazing. You get the sherry, you get the cream, you get this beautiful earthiness from the mushrooms. And then there's a Calabrian chili, which will hit your mouth a little later. It's this subtle little heat that hits in your back of your throat. Oh, absolutely amazing. Oh, the blend is fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to eat a whole bunch of this. Thank you for watching. Make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We have more videos coming. I have been recording, but I wanted to do this one first because this has been what I've been craving and what I've been eating very lately. So, as you can see, these are the kitchen shelves that I was telling you about. That's where all my tools are, all the fun things, which we'll do a little tour of everything once I have it organized. It's a little hot mess express. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Drain the Kitchen. Bye. I'm gonna drink my wine.